what you need. You know I can. So hands up, who wants to rock?
Ever since I heard Jim Jeffries do his gun control bit, in which he referred to the Sandy Hook shooter as Asperger's as fuck, I have been looking for an excuse to repeat that line in context, and today was that day. It wasn't Asperger's per se, it was autistic. I actually referred to a patient that I worked with today as autistic as fuck, which got nervous laughs from everyone around me. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight. I just felt the need to share that story. My own, personal victory today. I got to say autistic as fuck out loud in front of a bunch of other professionals. Welcome to the Metal Hammer of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And welcome to the 2019 season of the Metal Hammer of Doom. We are kicking things off with a brand new slate of new albums to review. This week is Soilwork. All right, I'm going to try to do this right at least once. Damn it, I had it before.
I knew it. You would forget it. I knew you'd forget it.
Verklighten. Verklighten? I'm sorry, Sweden. I've tried. I actually went to Google Translator. My wife can vouch for me. I repeated it several times, and then I talked to Jesse about his children and their lack of a bedtime, and then I lost it.
That's typical for me. Just like anytime my kids are involved, all of a sudden I lose everything that I had planned to do. It's amazing.
Of course, that voice you hear laughing at me like a bully is Jesse Starcher. How do you doing, sir?
I am doing all right. Verklighten?
All right. Fuck this.
Verklighten?
Hang on.
Okay, we're heading there right now.
I'm gonna fuck this right in the face.
Oh boy. Right in the face.
Right in the face.
Right in the face.
Okay, here. You ready?
Don't break your computer. That's all I'm asking.
We have to start all over again tonight. Oh, that's not the right one.
Verklighten.
People in Sweden are just like, this show would already be over if this guy knew how to pronounce anything in Swedish.
Oh, boy. The translations, from what I understand, are at least the appreciation of another language is our strong suit here on the Metal Hammer of Doom.
Hey, all those people who called me a racist for making fun of baby metal, this is your opportunity to say, fuckface. How do you like it? All right, here it is. Wait, you ready?
I'm ready.
That's what it is. Soilwork, Verklighten.
Okay.
I keep what it is. L-I-G-H. Me is like.
Yep.
Long I. But I guess in Swedish, he is from Sweden. I like meatballs. It's Lee. So it's Verklighten.
Sure. I'm going to go with that. Colton.
Verklighten. Sorry.
Just the show, Colton.
The show's already 20. We're like 2 minutes in. This is already hot mess press.
You continue with the introduction, sir. I will be right back, like in 2 seconds.
All right. This has to go be his youngest son. That's fine. Okay, so Verklighten is a new album by Soilwork. We're going to review it for you tonight.
Tonight.
I have a good ball. I'm sure this recording is for shit.
Well, things I start on my end.
Oh,
so
terrific.
Yeah, I've got it recorded. Whatever you do, do not use mint toothpaste, Colton. Okay, I'll remember that. Why?
Beach ball.
I have a beach ball in my pants. Fucking, this is after time coming around. It's time to nuclear mark. We'll walk you through one together if you want. If you want to buy one and put it together, I'll save you like $200 or $300. We'll put one together, and then you'll be like, "Holy shit, no more beach balls." You like the Apple stuff, though. I don't know if I know much about Mac.
Verkligheten is the 11th studio album by Swedish melodic death metal. I can't say other words either. Band Soilwork.
Mark has a beach ball right now.
Right on my forehead. Which was released on January 11th via Nuclear Blast. The audience is now on fire. It is the first album to feature drummer Bastian Thusgaard as the replacement of longtime member Dirk Verbeuren.
Boy.
Dirk Verbeuren.
You're on a roll now. Keep going. How many more names we got in this band?
The album's release also marks the longest gap between Soilwork studio albums to date, with their previous album, The Ride Majestic, woo, having been released nearly 3.5 years earlier. All right, now we can finally move this along. Jesse Starcher, what do you know about working in the soil?
Well, I'll take you back to my days of listening to, I believe it was iHeartRadio, I think, or through the Xbox. What's the other one? There's something FM.
PlayStation.
What's not FM? No. Fucking Watchmen. No, it was, what's the .fm? That service. I can't remember what it's called now. There's Last.fm. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do.
But, okay, so I had stumbled upon one of my favorite bands of all time, Scar Symmetry, learned about them, and of course I was like, well, man, this is a whole new world of sound that I'm not used to. Please play me more. And sure enough, in that algorithm popped up Soilwork. So this was like 2000, I want to say 2008, 2009 maybe. And I wanted more. So I got more. You wanted the best, I got the best. I went there and found some Soilwork, downloaded it, and at about that time, I think Sworn to a Great Divide was out, and I had, I gobbled that right up and listened to, oh my goodness, Natural Born Chaos, Figure Number 5, and Stabbing the Drama, all had some great songs off of there. Became a fan, and then just recently I realized how much respect the lead singer of this band, Bjorn Strid, has. A lot of people like him. As a matter of fact, he just showed up. Well, I didn't say he just showed up because that album got released a couple years ago. We didn't have the chance to cover it on the Metal Hammer of Doom, but that Allegiant album that I was really wanting to cover, he did, I think, one. I know he did one like real quick guest vocal on a song, and then he definitely helped out on full vocals for another song. So. Always impressed with the vocals that this guy brings, and it's fun to listen to his own work here in Soilwork, his own work as they say, working from the ground up here in Soilwork. So I'm excited to actually get into a new Soilwork album. This should be this should be fun.
All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. We're gonna skip. Hi, welcome to the Metal Hammer of Doom.
Take 5.
We're going to skip the first track, which is the title track, but it's also a instrumental. It's about 1 minute and 44 seconds. We're just going to skip past it. And we're going to go right to our second track here, our first one with lyrics. It's called Arrival. What do you think about that, Jesse? You ready for this?
Oh, that was a good movie with Charlie Sheen.
Fantastic. All right, here we go. Arrival by Soilwork. We are off and running with Soilwork, Arrival. I really like that song. There was a lot of layers to it. There was some complexity. There was a shifting from the clean vocals to the screamo type vocals, screaming vocals. Almost progressive sounding at times, the vocals. You had the blast beats and the drumming. There were some tempo changes, just a lot of stuff going on. I thought they kicked things off with. I can't believe I forgot it again. Verkligheten. They kicked things off with in Verkligheten very strong.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, we're talking this second song called Arrival, and it's a great title for them to be showing up right here, right at the beginning of the album. We got it's probably one of the more solid openers for an album that I've heard in a while. It is what I pretty much expected from Soilwork. We got the speed, we've got the brutality that's in there a little bit. We got the clean and the harsh vocals going on. So I was impressed with this first song, and I was definitely ready to. I was hoping that it keeps this intensity up and the quality of these songs as we continue through the album.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the beat doesn't. It's funny. We were talking before the show about. We think my daughter might have a case of the ADD. She's got some attentionality issues, and it's just like, oh gosh, as a dad, it hurts my heart. Because you want your kids to be as perfect as as possible, and ADD is not like the worst thing ever. But you don't want that for anyone, really.
No,
especially
you
a child. And then I can't remember the name of this fucking album from 1 minute to the next, and I wonder, gee, why did she have ADD? Where did she get that from?
This kid, Melissa's side of the family. Nope.
I'm not committed to this as a mental health professional, but I might have a case of the ADD myself.
Mm-hmm. There have been times on the podcast where I've been talking and you've been trying to figure out something with a cartoon that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. So
you know what?
Yeah, maybe.
Sale, motherfucker. Blame it on my ADD, baby. That's gonna be my new excuse for everything. It's just if there's a problem, it's gonna be blame it on my ADD, baby. Sale. All right.
Nice.
Speaking of which, let's keep the party moving here. This next song is called Bleeder Despoiler. It's so funny to me. Like, I'll play this in the car, and speaking of being distracted and having ADD, and like I'll be listening to something like this, and like, okay, yeah, this is good. I'm having a good time listening to this, but I'm not entirely focused on it because my brain is, it's focused on work, it's focused on traffic, it's focused on staying awake, it's focused on any number of other things. And then, like, it comes to the show, and I'm like, wow, like, when I have to focus on the album, how much more I tend to enjoy things that I didn't think I enjoyed as much the first time around listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing you could say, by the way, this song, this is top 3, if not the best for me off of here. There's a couple others that are contenders, but I really like this one.
Yeah, this one's one of the best songs on here. My one complaint about this song is I wish that when they were producing it, they had raised the volume of the piano.
Okay, now I have notes here that really talk to the production of this album. Like, I feel like I understand Soilwork's a heavy metal band, okay? But this thing feels overwhelming at times.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like I said with the first track, like, it's very layered, right? Like,
Yep.
one might go as far as to say maybe a little overproduced, maybe
Yes.
a little too, John C. Reilly making fun of Ray, when he's got all the, the orchestral pieces. Do you remember in the movie Walk the Line, where they're up to the point where they're making fun of that place in an artist's life where they just go overboard, and so he's doing a recording session. He's got people playing like a didgeridoo, and he's got a full orchestra and shit like that. This
is Walk Hard, right? This is
Walk Hard, not
okay.
Walk the Line. Walk
Got
Hard.
Yep.
One might be tempted to draw a reference to that, but it's not quite that over the top.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Wait a minute, did you get one of my references?
No, I've not seen the movie. But I know John C. Reilly starred in that movie. And when you said Walk the Line, I was like, all right, he's talking about Walk Hard.
Okay.
Not seen the movie, but I get it. But man,
you're not
I'll tell
from
you,
this country.
So we're still 0-1. It's 2019. Everybody that's keeping a tally out there, yes, that's 0 for 1 on the reference list for Jesse Starcher.
You need to
Update
start
your spreadsheets.
You know what, Captain America? You need to start keeping a list of like shit you need to see that so you understand my references. So for 2019, number 1, Walk Hard.
All right, I've got a spreadsheet right here. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and we'll just add it right now. Walk Hard. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it is very overwhelming. Very, I don't want to, overproduced is hard. It almost sounds like it's discounting what they're doing, but my goodness, it takes you just like you said, you're on, I don't know how many listens here, probably at least your second. And you're like, okay, now I'm starting to pick things out that, man, I really do enjoy some of this stuff. But yeah, we're going to get that the rest of this album. And I don't know if that's signature Soilwork. I don't remember picking that up a whole lot in their previous albums and the stuff that I listened to. So, I don't know if this is a new direction for them or if it's just typical Soilwork. I can remember the Ride Majestic. I listened to a good bit off of that album. And I don't recall being that overwhelmed when I listened to it.
Yeah. They seem to really step it up a notch and put some extra effort into some of this. And so far, this has when I think of progressive, I always think of spacey. When we did and I haven't had a chance to talk about this because we've been doing other things, but I want to go ahead and apologize for the sound quality of our year-end special. Obviously, my computer was on the slow side that night, and we were getting a lot of skips, and it made the whole thing unlistenable. So I can't believe we've had as many downloads of that show as we have, because that's it's just a wreck of a show. But
hey, you know what? When Metal Church, our review of Metal Church gets 50 listens on YouTube. I mean, we're golden, buddy. We don't have to worry about anything sounding
we
bad.
don't have to apologize for shit. But I talked about on that show Spock's Beard and how all the young dudes. You've heard of that song, haven't you? Now?
Oh fuck! Here we go again.
Hey Jesse, have you ever heard all the young dudes by Mata Hoopo?
Oh my god.
But progressive always tends to remind me of spacey. When we listen to Spock's Beard and Have We All Gone Crazy Yet? It had that kind of spacey sort of, science fiction hippie sound to it. You know what I mean?
Now, there's a song on this album that almost represents exactly what you're talking about, too.
Well, I look at the cover of this, and people are going to be like, where did you get that from? But, I feel like I look at the cover, and I feel like the artwork, the color scheme, the drawings kind of scream kind of a cross between Spacey, Clutch, and Flash Gordon.
Led Zeppelin too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's just that. It's got that like it's got that vibe. I definitely feel what you're saying there. I don't know what the hell's going on that cover either. I'm trying to figure it out. That's
that grape jelly is trying to fuck a deer.
Thanks, Sweden. I know they like their elk and their moose and all that out there. So sure.
Somebody out there listening to this who really likes Soilwork, who's really into this cover, just kicked their cat.
Oh, dude.
If I ever find this Rattledge asshole, I'm gonna kick him right in his Verklighten.
Well, yeah, you open up a package there that you get in the mail. It's nothing but a bunch of used toilet paper. Damn it, Swedes again.
IKEA's from Sweden. I like meatballs. I had meatballs for dinner tonight.
Fucking second time you said that. I don't know. Should keep a counter on that one too. You had meatballs tonight, huh?
I certainly did, Ollie.
Did you get it from the big meatball place that you were talking about? Wasn't there some like specialty meatball place?
Yeah, in Orlando, there's the Meatball Shoppy. We went
Nice.
there. My wife and I went there last summer when we saw the last Slayer tour.
Ah, I remember you sharing pictures. It was like a nice meatball, or at least you sent us something off the menu. I can't remember, but either way.
No, we went there, and I was taking all kinds of like I've taken more pictures of the Meatball Shoppy than I have my own children.
This is Jonas, but have you seen this meatball?
Oh my God! There was a flight of meatballs, and it's classy. But yeah, we just had old fashioned Italian meatballs tonight. There's this site that I follow on Facebook called Delish. See, while everybody else is out there dissing Trump and sharing fake news, I'm all about Delish.com. Okay, have you seen Delish.com? They're not a sponsor of us, but I'm about to plug them anyway.
Go for it.
They're always sharing mad recipes. Okay, they do these videos of people just cooking up delightfulness. And a lot of what they do is like really like healthy alternatives, low carb foods, that sort of thing. And so one of the things I found on Delish.com that was put on Facebook was meatball parmesan, but instead of bread, like meatball parmesan sandwich. Okay, you ever have a nice meatball parmesan hoagie there, Jesse Starcher?
That sounds delicious.
Okay, well, you know how bread's no good for you because gluten is the devil.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and everyone's got gluten allergies, and gluten is what makes you fat, and gluten makes you a communist, and gluten makes you a homosexual, and all that. You got to get the gluten out of your life.
Well, dude, the funny thing is somebody at our where I work, okay, has I think a severe gluten issue, and to where they brought in this toaster, okay? And now listen, it was the strangest thing I'd ever seen, okay?
Uh-huh.
When I walked into the break room and there was a toaster there and a sign that said, "This is a gluten-free toaster." I was like, no shit. It's like, what fucking world do I live in where I have to worry about toasting bread and gluten like somehow leaking onto it or something? I still don't understand it. I'm sure there's a very good reason behind it, but I'll be damned if I never was more confused than when I saw a sign that said gluten-free toaster. I was like,
awesome.
All right. So anyway, yes, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So obviously bread is the devil's work. So you ever want to have a meatball sandwich, but you need an alternative for the bread? Well, what this site suggested was crispy green peppers. Okay, you take a nice juicy crispy green pepper and you slice that son of a bitch in half. You slice it, Jesse Starcher. You hollow out the nuts and bolts in the inside, all the little pepper seeds. You take them out. You try not to mace yourself, like I did once. No. True story. You know that story. You remember that, right?
You maced yourself?
I didn't told you that story.
I don't think you done told me that story, sir.
Welcome to ADD Live, ladies and gentlemen, where we can't finish a story.
If these people ain't used to this shit by now, okay, listen. One less like on a 50 like video is not really going to hurt our feelings any.
So there I was, Boston. I believe this was 1998. And
This goes in the Mark Radulich book when it's written. Okay, here we go.
it was WrestleMania 14. Stone Cold Steve Austin was about to kick off the Attitude Era, the Stone Cold Era, when he would take on Shawn Michaels at the Boston Fleet Center. I don't remember what it was called back then, but it was where the Celtics play for WrestleMania 14. Okay, X-rated, if you will. And we were at the House of Blues in Boston. It was the night before WrestleMania, and I decided to have some jambalaya, Jesse Starcher. I delighted in the House of Blues jambalaya. I also had myself a few beers. Okay, I was there to drink their beer.
I understand.
And down a few beers later, I started playing with the world's second hottest pepper that they use as a garnish. In the jambalaya.
Okay. Oh boy.
I start playing with this thing, right? Because I'm not really feeling myself. You know, I'm a little tipsy.
You got the beers. Yep.
Okay. So I'm playing with the pepper, and I got my knife, and I'm carving the pepper, and I'm cutting it, and I'm scooping out the goodness. And what I don't realize, and what I've learned since then, is that the way that the second hottest pepper works is that when you cut it open, its juices and insides will spray into the atmosphere. And I'm and it's like inches from my face when I'm doing this, by the way.
You've given this a lot of thought. You were doing exactly what you shouldn't be doing.
So as I proceeded to perform microsurgery on the second hottest pepper in the House of Blues jambalaya, its goodness sprays into my eyes.
Gosh.
Unbeknownst to me, because it's not like an aerosol. It's happening slowly. And of course, I'm also rubbing my eye. I'm holding this pepper and rubbing my eyes, and it's just going back, and it's going in a vicious circle of stupidity. And about 5 minutes into this operation, I'm finding that my eyes are burning.
I would imagine.
My eyes are burning. My eyes are tearing. Now I can't open up my eyes. I'm blind. Okay?
Yeah, dude.
I have blinded myself. Why? Because I maced myself with the second hottest pepper in the jambalaya at the House of Blues in Boston.
Wow. So how long did that last? Like how?
Well, my friend had
started getting over it.
Well, Freak Boy had to escort me to the bathroom upstairs. Okay, and I spent the next 10 minutes washing my eyes out while he laughed at me. Laughed at me, I tell you. Anyway,
I don't know. It probably just continues because you got it all over your hands, and you're sitting there trying to get it out of your eyes with your hands, and you just keep putting it back into your eyes. Ugh. That's horrible. And that's horrifying. I never want to experience that. So
no, don't blind yourself. Don't mace yourself with the second hottest pepper from the jambalaya at the House of Blues.
So green pepper inception aside, we're coming back up. Now let's talk about the green pepper sandwich or whatever the hell you were talking about here.
So you take a green pepper, right, and you slice it and you cut out the goodness. Try not to get it in your eyes. And you take 4 meatballs and you melt cheese over it. You put a little sauce. You put another slice of pepper on top of that. Bam, meatball parmesan sandwich with a low-carb substitute for the bread.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Now, how the hell did we tie this back into what the hell we were talking about before? What caused you to go off on a delicious
Sweden.
tangent?
Have I mentioned I like meatballs? Let me tell you what I had for dinner tonight.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's...
Fucking track 3, 4, whatever.
Hey, remember when we said we were going to skip tracks tonight?
Oh.
All right, here we go. This is Full Moon. I seen the bad moon rising. This is Full Moon Shoals. that one probably comes as close as I think to being a mainstream playable track. Maybe not with the screaming there in the middle, but up to that point, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty mellow for this band. Pretty, and I wouldn't say popish, but definitely. And come to speak of it, Full Moon Show was released as a single on October 26th. It was the second single released from this album, with Arrival being the first, and then Stalfogel being the third.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I remember catching Spotify. Spotify will send you the emails. Hey, check out the new music that showed up there this week. And I remember seeing Full Moon Shoals pop up. Now, I may have heard Arrival before that, but I think the first time I actually paid attention, like, oh shit, Soilwork's going to be dropping an album soon, was when that second song, or the second single release. And yeah, you're right, this does feel kind of radio friendly, but it's, my notes were, it's good, it could have been better. Maybe that's because it was so radio friendly.
Yeah, I definitely felt a distinct reduction in the testosterone of that we got in the first two songs. Not counting our interlude there. We're not interlude, but you got it. The instrumental at the beginning. Right. So I'm looking over the personnel on the Wikipedia page for Verkligheten.
Sure.
And we got Bjorn Speedstrid on the vocals, all right. Sylvain Coudret on the guitars. David Anderson on guitars, bass, and get this, Jesse Starcher, piano.
Piano?
Yeah. Not only do they got a piano player, but they also got Sven Karlsson, good old Sven, on the keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do they have Sven Karlsson on the keyboards, but they got Bastian Thusgaard, as mentioned before, on drums and percussion. But not only do they have Bastian Thusgaard on drums and percussion, they have various people doing vocals on various tracks or backing vocals. And finally, on tracks 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, and 11, Hannah Carlson on the cello. So in addition to your traditional bass guitar, regular six-string guitar, drums, and metal vocals, they've got a variety of other vocalists, and a piano, and a keyboard, and a cello.
That's layers, buddy. That is layers. And that is something that, well, the vocals first are what bring me to this band. But them bringing in the different instruments, especially, I'm a big fan of the keyboards in metal. I find myself more and more of a fan when that is involved. But yeah, dude. I mean, we got a very, very layered instrument package here with this band, and I like watching them make use of all that.
There's a guy that came into the jail the other day, and he initiated a suicide by cop situation. And
oh shit!
The cops obliged him.
You're shitting me.
They lit him up like a fucking Christmas tree.
Oh my god!
So,
are you talking about like they shot his ass, or they
shot him like a dog?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, so this guy purposely charged at the cops with a knife, and they in turn, having felt threatened and using the hunter's motto, "He's coming right for us."
Yeah.
Opened fire on this crazy motherfucker and filled his chest and his arms full of lead. Now, he lived through this. He is.
Are you kidding?
He's still with us today, this Iron Man. But when I met this fine gentleman, it had been after he was taken to the local hospital where they bandaged him up like a mummy. And when I saw him, both his arms were wrapped up, and my first words out of my mouth in a public place, my public place of work, was, "Well, he'll never play the piano again." What's funny is people repeated it.
Oh no!
Everyone suddenly started pronouncing it piano. I like to feel that I influence the culture.
Yeah, is it a good influence or a bad influence? We'll leave that out for our listeners to make the decision.
It's a sandwich.
Sure.
Remember Good Witch, Bad Witch sandwich?
Oh yeah,
remember that joke?
That's right.
Yep,
I remember that joke.
Piano.
Piano. Excuse me.
Pronounce it right, God damn it! You don't sound like you don't want to sound uneducated or some shit.
Well. Last thing I want to do right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom, besmirch my own name.
and my name is Chuck McFuckster. All right then. No one must know. All right. Speaking of no one must know, let's move on to our next song here. Of course, it is The Nurturing Glance. So that one starts off a little slow for me, but then it really gets pumping. Mm-hmm. And I love those deep-throated, clean vocals. Kind of reminds me of Volbeat there.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, and I love the tone of that particular of those particular vocals.
Yeah, Bjorn has a. I don't know if I should be calling him Speed or not, but that just doesn't feel right to me to call this man Speed.
I'm not calling him Speed. Okay.
but he
quite frankly, if I knew what Sting's real name was, I wouldn't call him Sting either.
So he has a very distinctive vocal style. So and there's. Usually I have a good ear for vocalists, so when I hear somebody, I can go, okay, I know I've heard him in a band somewhere, especially if they're not well known, I can usually say, okay, I know I've heard that voice somewhere. Bjorn is unmistakable, especially right here in this particular song. I think his vocals have one of the better opportunities to shine amongst this album. Nurturing Glance is it feels like it's just that prime example of him at his best. You can hear the layers in his vocals. You know, he's singing, and then you can hear him, kind of screaming in the background, and that melodic tune that's getting carried, and that is what a lot of this album is about. Is the melodic metal And again, that's another one of my favorite genres. It seems like anymore is hearing that melodic element pop up in most metal. So Nurturing Glance.
You're not really into like the Cookie Monster vocals. You like, I think you like the sound as far as the instrumentation, but when it comes to the vocals, you're not into growling.
If it's all growling and it's
listenable.
If it's unintelligible, I guess would be the word.
Unintelligible.
Amorphous was a good example of somebody who had great growling vocals, and you could understand every fucking word that they say.
Yeah.
And I really like that. If it's unintelligible, that's where you start to lose me.
Well, nobody showed Amorphous more appreciation than we did in 2018.
That's right, damn it. Yeah, Mark Radlich is all about that. But yeah, when it's clean and harsh, I'm a big fan of that. That seems to be something that I really, really like. So, this is right up my alley. And Nurturing Glance is, just like you said, it starts off kind of slow, but it becomes a monster. It's good. I like it.
All right. Let's keep the train moving on here. This is When the Universe Spoke. All right. So that one's sort of this weird combination of those, science fiction progressive elements and like death metal or metalcore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of all right. That's definitely a track.
Yeah, I put down here in my notes, that sci-fi space feel. Like those lyrics.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the universe speaking, what's your thoughts on the old radio signals coming from deep space? Have you looked into that? Have you heard anything about it?
Listen, I'm only focused on Avengers Endgame right now. All right.
You haven't seen the news? I mean, legit, within the last couple weeks, I'm sure you had to have seen something in your feed about it.
No, I swear to God, I have no idea what you're talking. All I know is they're making another Ghostbusters movie.
Perfect. I hope that gets done before the aliens invade.
I know. I only know. Look, I only know one thing of what's going on in this world, and that apparently is Trump shut down the government because they won't give him the money to build his wall that he ran on and won the election with.
Don't forget, he got to feed a football team a bunch of fast food, which was just.
I saw
great.
that. I just thought it was modern art. I didn't think that was a real thing.
No, sir. Clemson came to the White House and got a nice helping of Wendy's and Pizza Hut and Burger King and McDonald's, all laid out there.
Oh my God! I've never been prouder of my country. Ain't that America? All right. So, what is this about the aliens invading?
Okay, here you go. This is straight from the Weather Channel. I mean, we have all sorts of different sources. BBC, I think, just released an article about this. But this happened, I think, within the last week. There was some what they call fast radio bursts that they were able to capture that seemed to be coming out in a pattern from deep space. So now nobody has figured out what it possibly could be. I would figure they're going to be like, turning all like. I'm sure the Hubble's got to be turning. Is the Hubble still a thing? It is, isn't it? Like turning towards wherever it's coming from. But yeah, dude, there was some pretty big shakeup here, and I don't think they've gotten down to the bottom of it yet. There's a bunch of theories as to what it could possibly be, but it's
clearly going to be our alien overlords
on their way. Yeah. On their way here. Now, whatever it is, I know radio takes forever to get to us.
There's no way we can repel an alien invasion. We're not ready.
I know that, sir. We're too busy fighting with ourselves.
We're too busy playing with ourselves. Let me tell you something about this country.
Okay.
We would not be able to repel an invasion of red Chinese, let alone an invasion of red aliens. Okay?
Boy. Oh, please, educate me, sir.
Listen, you know as well as I do that if you walk into work tomorrow and attempt to toast a piece of bread that has gluten in it, you will set off World War III in your office. You know that.
It could happen.
The snowflakes will take up arms and cry beat you. Okay? You know what's going on. I work in an office where I once handed somebody something and said, here, I created a list for you of things to do. Please go do them. That's what we're paying you for. Thank you. Have a nice day. And was told I was being bossy.
Wow.
We are not prepared,
Nope.
Jesse Starcher. We as a nation who can't handle comics making jokes. Okay, we fire directors for shit they said decades ago as a joke. Okay?
Yep.
We hate one president because in a private conversation off air, he said, women will let famous men grab them in the pussy. But love another president. But love another president who was a rapist.
Whew, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
But Bill Clinton did, and it was against her wishes.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you right now, America, I love my country, and I love my planet, but when the aliens come, I'm trying to make a deal. Because I'm not standing with you all.
Mark is just hoping the robots take over before then. We may at least have a chance as slaves for AI. It's either aliens or AI, whichever one. Pick
I
your
will
poison.
volunteer to have my conscience uploaded into the internet.
All right, then. Very good.
And speaking of space age fantasy, our next song is a space age Suicide Squad story. You know the deal, Jesse Starcher. We talked about this on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra.
Oh, yeah, we did. I'm talking about beating up trees, building a submarine, floating in the air.
Yes. This is one part Suicide Squad, one part Star Trek, and one part Yellow Submarine.
That's right.
Look, I only did enough research to figure out how to pronounce the stupid album. I haven't the faggiest or foggiest or faggiest.
Oh, goodness.
Clue how to pronounce this, so I'm going to give him a best shot here. to the Swedes, I am sorry. This next one is Stallfagel. Starfagel.
Sure. So, I haven't. Have you said the word fag yet? Because it has that in there. I'm just surprised that you haven't.
No, why would I say Jesse Starcher?
Oh, he's offended. Oh my goodness.
Why would I? First of all, that's an offensive word, and I would never say the word fag on this show.
Where is this leaf that you've turned over for 2019? Because it's a big ass leaf.
It's covering my penis.
Here you want to see.
And it's not Starfagel, it's Starfagel.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm just very surprised that you did not jump at the opportunity. No, okay. Hey, this is one of the others that jump up in my top 3. I really like this song. We have, and I'm sure you probably heard her, lead singer of Arch Enemy, helping out there with some of the vocals. That's Alyssa. So I really enjoyed this.
Totsy.
Yes, indeed. My goodness. She helps out here, and the song is probably, like I said, one of the best off of here. When you look at the singles that they dropped off of here, I mean, Full Moon Shoals is probably the weakest of the 3.
Yeah.
But really, I think all 3 of them are strong when it comes to listenability. So I dig this one. I think it's definitely one of the better ones off here, and I think it is worthy of releasing as a single. And I really want to know what happens with the Terminator at the end of that video. I mean, my goodness, I'm gonna have to wait till the sequel pops up here, I guess.
Yeah, I need Soilwork to drop another single and continue the video story that they were telling. We need to know what happens to the Suicide Squad.
Indeed. And, I didn't have a chance to look through too many reviews, but I haven't seen the word concept album or anything like that. So, but you never know. Some of these songs may actually tie in with each other. That's been known to happen in some metal albums, believe it or not. So you never know.
Indeed. All right. Well, you may have heard that the boys are back in town, but then they got eaten by wolves, and now the wolves are back in town. So here we go.
Was it just a subliminal death threat when you said that the ending was near? Was it part of your criminal mindset to appease the celestial fear? Was it death as an everyday phenomenon that all is passing like the clouds? When you meet me at the gates of Parthenon to reliquate
All right, the Wolves are back in town. They ate the boys. I like that one. I have to say, say what you will about this album, my head's been pretty much bobbing with almost every track.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed, like I said, I enjoy the clean vocals. I will say this. There are 2 tracks proper, I think, next, and then I think there's like 2 extra tracks. Probably could go I could probably stop here.
Okay.
We still have another 20-ish minutes to go of music. Obviously, we don't play all 20 minutes, but I think right about here is a good place to, and we'll finish this out. But what I'm saying is, up to this point, like the Wolves are back in town, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, this album is front heavy, in my opinion. A lot of great songs at the beginning, and then when we hit The Wolves Are Back in Town, this is an earworm for me. I don't put it up there as like one of the better songs off this album, but for some reason I can't get him singing The Wolves Are Back in Town right out of my head. Not happening. So that's stuck in there.
Groovy little chorus there.
Exactly. And then we don't really peak any after that. It's kind of all either meh or okay. I've heard this, and nothing that wows me. Okay. But as for Wolves Are Back in Town, it's a neat little ditty, and it will get stuck in your head.
All right. So I think, having said that, we're going to do something a little bit different here in 2019. I think when we reach the point where we've sort of run out of things to say about the album, and we're at the end, we're just going to quick do a medley. And close up shop. What do you think, Jesse Starcher?
I'm ready for it, man. 2019. Turn over that crotch leaf.
That's right. Come check out my crotch leaf as I turn it over. You'll get a surprise. I'd like to show you something that I'm very proud of, but you're going to have to stand back.
Whoa! Controversial!
All right. In order of ascension here, Whiten, Kurgan White, Witten. I'll take any one of those. The Ageless Whisper, Needles and Kin featuring Tommy Jutson, and
Tommy Jutson from Amorphous, by the way.
All right, I'm going to try not to pass gas during that song.
Remember that guy that reviewed that album? He said, I was really interested in this, but I can't believe I listened to the rest of it. It must be because I really like farts.
And then finally, You a Quiver featuring Dave Sheldon. Where's Dave Sheldon from, Jesse Starcher?
Oh, boy, you're asking me too quick. Hold on a second. I will find out.
All right,
Dave
then.
Sheldon. He is musician, believe it or not.
Dave Sheldon. There are 4
Angel
letters.
of Death?
There we go.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Witten, The Ageless Whisper, Needles and Kin, and You a Quiver, Verkligheten.
watch it all go down. With your heart, with your mind, let it sink. Believe in your thoughts, so a migrate to a place where your soul is a song. The inside still makes you a cripple. The ethereal glow of the master, who controls all your imminent thoughts, with consuming your way to salvation. Fire breaks the dawn. Pervasive hate.
All right. Those last three tracks aside, I actually really liked Witten a lot. And if we had just ended with that one, you know, I could go one more after the Wolves Are Back in Town, and that's the one I could go with. And then maybe save the Ageless Whisper and Needles and Kin and You Quiver for like an EP or something.
Okay.
I feel like the album would have ended stronger had they just cut those last three tracks. They're not bad or anything, but I found myself on a very strong album, the best of the year so far. This is a solid A for me. Put it in your spreadsheet,
Okay.
Jesse.
It's going there right now. Just real quick, Dave Sheldon. I want to make sure I get this correction before, you know, the Swedish decide to actually get involved in a war with at least Langford, Ohio. Dave Sheldon is a guitarist with X's for Eyes and Annihilator. The Annihilator I've heard of. X's for Eyes I have not. But so yeah, he was not the pro wrestler Angel of Death that I had somehow. I don't know how that makes it up into the second Google link of Dave Sheldon musician, but whatever. But yes, X's for Eyes and Annihilator. All right, yeah, let's mark that down as an A. You said, sir, an A. Well
Yeah.
then.
No, it's
All
a
right.
great album. Like, you know, it kept my interest right up until the end, and then it's not the end is bad. It's just it overstays its welcome.
Okay. All right. For me, out of those that we just played, You a Quiver was actually one of the ones that I think stood out for me. That's the song where he just at some point throughout the song they keep saying "Watch out, oh watch out," and I was like, oh okay. Well, anyway, that struck a chord with me. It made my top 5 off the album. But overall, I don't believe I was let down by the album. This new effort by Soilwork, it's pretty good. There's songs on there I gravitate more towards than others. I have a feeling as we go through the year, we're not going to have too much of a hard time finding an album we have more fun with, probably. I think it's a solid entry in their catalog with a few good standout songs that will make a Soilwork best of playlist for me pretty easily. Soilwork, Mein Leben, which, by the way, Mark Rodlich, do you have any idea what I'm referencing there? Because I know you probably don't.
Go ahead and tell me.
All right. Yeah, the answer is no. So yes. Have you ever played Doom for the PC? Do you remember ever playing Doom?
Yeah, sure. It's first-person shooter.
Yep. You go. Or okay. Let's take that back. Do you remember Castle? What is it? Wolfenstein. I think it might have been Wolfenstein 3D.
I did not play Wolfenstein.
Okay. So Wolfenstein, you go around and you're infiltrating this castle, and you're going to find Hitler. And there is a bunch of soldiers, and when they get shot, they yell out, "Mein Leben!" So there you go. That's what I've been referencing for the past week and a half. So there you are. But yes, I think this album is a great way to start off the year of 2019 for the Metal Hammer of Doom, and I think any of our listeners out there who have not bought it already or have listened to it on Spotify should definitely give it a chance, sir.
All right, so let's talk Turkey. And by that, I mean, what is next for the Metal Hammer of Doom? Come on, be cooperative. There we go. We're going to finish off January with Papa Roach next week. Who do you trust? Who do you trust, Jesse Starcher? Do you trust anybody? Do you trust that we're going to be invaded by aliens?
That's a news story. I don't know, man. You never know.
Well, if we do, it'll be a pale horse named Death that comes for us all.
Oh my. I thought it was. Isn't it Who Do You Trust? Fucking Papa Roach?
Yes.
Now I'm confused.
All right,
Horse named Death. Which one's happening, Mark?
All right, let's start again. January 23rd, we're going to review Who Do You Trust by Papa Roach, their new album. January 30th, we're going to review formerly of Type O Negative, Sal Ubrascato, his band, A Pale Horse Named Death. They've got a new album out. We've got Metal Hammer of Doom extras for all of these, so go ahead and check those out. February 6th, we're going to review the new Bring Me the Horizon, Zombies. Just keep that in mind. Ooh. And everything blows up, if you'll remember.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
On February 13th, Beast in Black from Hell with Love. Okay, do you know anything about Beast in Black?
No, I didn't. I got treated to a Metal Hammer of Doom extra and learned a lot.
Yeah, you did. Well, you're going to learn about the Beast in Black. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, on February 20th, we'll welcome you back to Avantasia. We're going to follow that up with another progressive, the Kings of Progressive Metal, Dream Theater. They'll have a new album out, and I will suffer through it. On March 6th, it's the new Queensryche. March 13th, the new In Flames. Then we're going to take a week off, because I will be on a cruise. And nothing will happen that week.
Nothing.
We'll
plan something, but it won't happen.
There'll be a source material for Fatal Attractions, and that's all you're getting that entire week. The whole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's nothing else planned. I won't be around.
I might have to do something then.
That might be the week that Jesse Starcher just takes over the Radiovision Broadcasting Network. This is my network now, bitches.
I've done it before.
So we'll see what Jesse produces for us that week, but there won't be a Metal Hammer of Doom more than likely. We will come back though, and the week that we come back, now Jesse, we need to talk about this, okay?
Okay.
Because I might have to have you on a Damn You Hollywood. Netflix got the rights to the Motley Crue biopic, The Dirt, that was based on their autobiography. The Dirt.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this. This sounded interesting.
Yeah, so this is not going to be in theaters. It's going to be on Netflix. So we're going to review the Netflix biopic.
Verklighten.
The Dirt by Motley Crue, and we're going to follow that up with the Metal Hammer of Doom with Motley Crue Greatest Hits.
Very good. That sounds like a great tie-in.
Yes, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So we might have to have you on Damn You Hollywood with myself and Robert Winfrey. We'll have to get in between us, which means you have to watch the movie.
I'll be all right with that. I can handle a Netflix movie.
We're gonna follow that up with Children of Bodom. They'll have a new album out. That brings us to April. The beat doesn't stop, my friends. The beat does not stop. On April 10th, we're going to be it's going to be all things WrestleMania and Shazam that week. WrestleMania 35 will have just happened. We're going to do an entire Metal Hammer of Doom related to wrestling music.
Oh,
I don't know what that's going to be just yet, but we're going to do something, I tell you. On April 17th, we're going to have to deal with the fact that someone let Jesse's cat out in the rain.
Oh, fucking
It's overkill, ladies and gentlemen. Overkill. They're back, and they're mad about their cat.
Was this was the band that brought us like the overage, or wasn't it like the geriatrics bitch about everything digital? He was the analog man in the digital world.
No, that was shit.
Who the fuck did that?
That wasn't Striper. That wasn't Wasp.
Nope.
Except,
yes. Okay. All right. Got it.
Now, the week of the 22nd, actually on the 24th, instead of the Metal Hammer of Doom, myself and Jesse Starcher, we're going to do a TV party for the Orville Season 2, assuming it's over by then.
Oh, man. Did I feel uncomfortable at that second episode?
Okay. If that's the one where the Mocklins nearly get a divorce because he's addicted to porn.
Yes.
Let me tell you how
sir.
I am now out of the running for Father of the Year. Let me tell you a tale.
Oh, no.
So
this was not supposed to go past that show. Let's just keep it there. How did this make it way into your family life? No.
So let me explain a little something for you. I watched the Orville on Hulu, and I had like missed an episode or two. So before my daughter's birthday party, we got up early, and my wife was out like running errands, last minute errands for her party. And I always, and I got up and, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to catch up on a little bit of TV while we're waiting to get ready for this party. That isn't happening until later. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'll watch the Orville. And now my kids made a decision at that point to watch whatever it is I was going to watch. Like, instead of going into their own rooms and watching their own televisions, they're like, we're going to snuggle up with Daddy and see what he's all about. And at that point, I'm like, well, I could watch Gotham, but Gotham's a bit violent. This is my reasoning, okay? Gotham's a bit violent. I don't want to play that in front of my kids. That's a little too much for an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. Let me watch the Orville instead. Because that's a lot of just science fiction fun, Jesse Starcher. Oh, it's aliens, and it's they trip the light fantastic, as we said in Mary Poppins. So I'm like, this, how bad could this possibly be? I mean, the Orville's kind of funny, and it's got some science fiction stuff, and I'm sure the kids will enjoy it. Little did I know this was going to be the episode that focused on the fact that the Mocklins are a gay couple. And when they get divorced, they stab each other. And oh, by the way, one of them is addicted to porn because last season his mate decided to transgender their baby.
Oh my gosh!
So,
oh man, how wonderful you got to share that with your children.
Yep. I had to explain all kinds of things. The fact that some boys like other boys, and they go off and they get married and they have families of their own, and then had to explain what transgender was and that's a thing, and then they stabbed one. Then one character stabbed the other, and my son decided to bring that up tonight. At the dinner table.
Oh my gosh! Dude, why couldn't you have been one episode behind and watched the first episode's just fine. Yeah. It's almost really good, and you're like, oh, this is.
Dude, the episode after that is fine. The one where Laura, is
I haven't
failing.
been there yet. I've got. The last one that I had watched was the Mocklins, so I've got to catch up.
The next one's just fine, and it's like my wife and I got into a fight about that because she was like, I wish you wouldn't watch stuff that's inappropriate for the children in front of the children. I just don't think that's a wise decision. I'm like, you watch Family Guy in front of them.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, and I don't like that I do that. I'm like, okay. You're just wanting to pick a fight right now. I'm not saying it was the wisest decision, but it's like it happened. And here's the thing as a parent, and I don't know if you agree with this or not. You feel free to disagree if you do. It's fine. But my thing is, the bigger deal you make out of something, the bigger deal your kids think it's going to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
every time.
If you want your kids to kind of forget something quickly, don't acknowledge it. Yeah. Just assume it's an ordinary. Like, this is happening, and I'm like, well, if I react to this, they're never going to let this go. And it's going to be, and it's going to be the Mocklins all the time and transgender all the time. And it's like, and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hear you. Trust me. I mean, tonight I was sitting down here in my basement making notes. My wife FaceTimes me and she goes, "Guess what your son just said?" I said, "What?" And she goes, Tell your dad what you just called me." My 5-year-old son says, "You're a dick." I was like, well, wait a second now. Where are you getting this from?
Clearly it's from the first X-Men movie.
Oh, yeah. True. Wolverine. That's the way he figures them out. I get that reference. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The kids if you make a big deal about it in front of the kids, then they're going to think it's something that either they shouldn't do or they should do in private, or, right. It's like, well, address it. I think you probably handled it just like you should have. You probably said, well, hey, this is what happens and this and that and the other. And if you try to hide it in any way, they're going to pick that. They're going to pick right up on that, and they're going to investigate. Just like last night, we're in the middle of a podcast. Colton comes downstairs. Type in inappropriate on YouTube for me. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Now, there's no way I'm doing that, but he's learning things, and they're going to check out things that they know aren't right.
Right.
If you make a big deal about it.
Right. So exactly. If you could cover their eyes or kick them out of the room or whatever, now they want to know. Now there's this is forbidden fruit. Forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest. So I fucked up, but the other side of it is gay people exist. They're in this world. They're not inherently bad. They're not inherently good. They're just people who live on this planet with us.
Yep.
And my wife is always on about how I don't want to have to explain homosexuality to my children at this age. And I'm like, but why not? They're people. They exist in this world. We're going to see them. They're there.
They're going to encounter something.
They're not in a concentration camp somewhere.
Yeah. It's all over TV, and as much as you would love to say that, I want to keep that from them.
But I don't think it's fair to the homosexual community either to treat them like they're this forbidden thing that children, gay people have children of their own.
Exactly.
So and this may sound like liberal tree hugging progressive horseshit coming from a fat old snowflake, but I truly do believe this. I'm not gonna act like there's anything inherently bad about homosexuality, and when my children encounter it, I'm gonna explain it as it is. Like I don't have to get graphic about it. Like I don't have to get it like a hot dog and a fucking donut and be like, so here's how this works. Yeah,
this is the rectum.
Now here's 2 scissors. Let me show you something.
Oh my goodness.
You don't need to go that way with it. We'll save that for when they're in college. But
no, I'm not having that fucking conversation ever. Okay, ever.
So when a boy loves a boy very much,
Mindy, you can handle that one.
So anyway, assuming it's over by then, we'll do a TV party tonight for the Orville season 2. We'll invite our children. It'll be a family discussion.
Right here on the Rattling Broadcasting Family Hour.
May 1st, just announced recently, there's a new Twar album coming out. We're going to hold our heathen hammers high, everybody. A new album, Hell, H-E-L. They couldn't afford the extra L on that one. We're going to discuss it.
I hope the production quality does not represent that.
We're going to review that for you right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. And then finally, Battle Beast, not Beast in Black. It's Battle Beast.
I'm down for that. I like Battle Beast.
Yeah, Battle Beast. No more Hollywood endings, baby dolls. That takes us right to May 8th. Like half of those albums come out in March, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun month.
We are so far behind. Like
a couple months later, we're like, okay. Yeah.
Like right now, they haven't announced a whole lot for April. I'm afraid to see what's going to come out in April because we're not going to get till fucking August at this rate.
Well, that's where some things we might have to do a little juxtaposition or flip flop in there. Be ready, Mr. Schedule. Just in case.
I know. Well, that's the problem. Like, I between my vacation and then wanting to do the wrestling show and the Motley Crue show, that's 3 spaces right there. That that took up room on the calendar.
Yeah.
So, it's just every time you do that, it pushes stuff forward. So either you got to cut things or I don't know. We'll figure it out though. But right now, that's the schedule all the way to May fucking 8th, ladies and gentlemen. I got your schedule right here in my shorts. Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna watch Game of Thrones?
No. Are you? Oh, if you're asking me to chime in on the finale of that, I've never watched one episode, and I am not cramming that shit in. I would like to watch that at some time, but I'll be damned if I'm going to try and watch all that all at once. So.
Well, I scheduled a TV party for Game of Thrones because I know that there's some Rattling Broadcasting fans out there who desperately wanted me to cover this show a while back, and when I was going through chemo. I crammed this and Arrow because it's the cure for what ails you.
And I'm alive today,
and I made it through. So yeah, I'm gonna do a TV party for the final season of Game of Thrones on May 30th. I got to find someone to talk about it with, though. I'm sure I can, though. There's plenty. Oh of
yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't. I'm pretty sure Alexis was watching that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I know she was talking about Dothraki and whatever. So
clearly she watches. All right, that's
she
right.
gets the references.
Yeah, at a minimum, I'll have her to talk about it with. And I think David Wright also watches it. So there you go. All right. So thank you for listening to Schedule Cast.
We know that's what you've tuned in here for. And they turn it on. They're like, enough with the album already. Get to the schedule.
Come on. We want to know what you're doing for the next 5 years. All right. So that's all. That's the Metal Hammer of Doom schedule up through May. Jesse Starcher, I'm done with plugs.
Okay, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go give the Radulich in Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. I have a show right here on the network. It's called Source Material. It's pretty much a book club for people who like to read comics, and Mark's usually on there with me. Ronnie Adams shows up there, and we just had finished a recent super blog team up. This is a big joint venture we're doing with a bunch of other blogs talking about the topic is redemption, and we had a very pleasant one guy that put up with our shit and our shenanigans, Chris Bailey from Newfoundland. Chris Bailey, which may very well be how I introduce him from here on out if he's ever on a show.
Chris Bailey squared.
He came on. We had a good discussion about Speedball and Penance. So if you want to check that out, that'll be dropping this coming Monday. And I also had the opportunity, while not in physical form, but in podcast form, I guess. I don't know. Imaginary form, I don't know how that translates. But either way, Kapow, the Pop Cultured Podcast, did a Big Brother episode, and they took a bunch of, people that they've talked about a lot on their podcasts, including guests that have showed up, fictional characters such as Ike Perlmutter, Michael Scott, Alf, and they put them in this simulation. There's a simulator out there on the net where you can do game shows, reality shows, throw people in there, throw their stats in, and simulate who would actually be the winner. So they threw it all into Big Brother Season 5, all right? Well, let me tell you, one of the most entertaining things was he got all the results, but he had to make up a story as we got there. And the Grand Poobah Seth did a great job. And there's one challenge. And Mark, you probably watch these reality shows. There's challenges every once in a while, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So there's this one challenge where we all have to run outside into this like swampy area and find a bunch of letters and put together like the best word and have the best time and all this. Okay. So I'm running out there. We got Archie from Riverdale's running out there. Yeah, that's what's happening. And I grab all these letters and come back and they start scoring everything. And the word I put together was Radulich. And I lost because it was not a proper word.
See, I would have bet money it was Kofifi.
No, it was not Kofifi. So yes. Anyway, that was the fun that I got to listen to. They did like probably an hour or so. And if you're interested in, all it is just a bunch of fiction. A guy who does, he's usually a dungeon master, put together the story and Big Brother, and it was a lot of fun. So check that out. It's Kapow, the Pop Cultured Podcast. I'm sure you could find it somewhere. But anyway. Other than that, I think that's about it, Mark Radulich. I'm ready to get the hell out of here if you are.
All right. This has been the Metal Hammer of Doom. Thank you to Jesse Starcher for joining me once again. And we look forward to offending you in the future.